Good evening, everyone. I'm Dia Wall. People forced out of their homes tonight after flames engulf an Overland Park apartment. 41 Action News reporter Andres Gutierrez talked to neighbors today as they recall the screams for help when several people got trapped.
Firefighters had to rescue the children, adults, and their dog from the second floor of this apartment building. The fire broke out around 7 o'clock this morning. The flames ripped through the attic of this building while smoke poured into neighboring apartments. Those tenants are back home tonight. People who live here tell me the children's screams for help on the balcony were agonizing.
They said, call and tell the firemen where we are because they're at the backside. It was really frightening. The children were, of course, very, very scared.
The cause of the fire is still under investigation, but they have ruled out electrical as one of the reasons. Management does tell us that they have found temporary apartments for those displaced. In Overland Park, Andres Gutierrez, 41 Action News.
He's such an amazing young man, and I just pray that, that people will remember those things about him and not this.
A teenager shot and killed in Kokomo. Police say it was over drugs. A community shocked and outraged. Tonight, this man is in jail, accused of murdering the 17-year-old and another teen also charged in connection to this case. RTV6's Liz Adiola covering the story all day. And Liz, what are you learning tonight?
Teachers and students and some of the victim's friends gathered here at his school, The Crossing, to console one another. In their grief, they shared multiple stories about 17-year-old LaMarcus McGraw. And they're hoping that his passion and dedication to school and basketball will be remembered over the way he died today.
At The Crossing, we are so much a family.
One that is holding on to final moments.
On Friday on the way out the door, remember?
I know.
It said stay out of trouble.
Stay out of trouble.
Stay out of trouble.
Be good.
A family that is grieving the loss of one of their own. None of the people here could have guessed that this tall, smiling 17-year-old, LaMarcus McGraw, would not be sitting at his desk come Monday morning.
He worked hard at school. He was so smart.
Amy Rowe was one of LaGraw's teachers. Says he just joined a job training program last week and had already impressed his bosses at DC Coders.
What a beautiful young man he was, and this was a struggle. This was something that he struggled with, but I don't want him to be remembered for this.
A decision that was made in an alleyway behind the Village Pantry on West Jefferson Street in Kokomo that wiped it all away. Rose says Sunday afternoon, the parent of one of LaGraw's classmates found him here and held him after he was shot.
I told her God used her in a huge way today. And to know that she was there to love him in his last moments, just, it's some consolation.
The fact that a suspect is now in jail, another. Kokomo police arrested 21-year-old Khalil Rucker on charges of murder, possession of marijuana, and dealing marijuana. A 15-year-old was also arrested on drug charges and for attempted robbery. Rose says that will not be the final line in this teen's book of life.
He had so many beautiful things about him. He's such an amazing young man, and I just pray that, that people will remember those things about him and not this.
In Kokomo, Liz Adiola, RTV.
Not such good news out of Custer County this morning, where Junkins Fire is now burning. It's destroyed 9 homes. Firefighters are making progress, however, thanks to an increase in crews and equipment. This fire is now 39% contained. It scorched more than 18,000 acres, and it was started when strong winds blew down power lines.
Well, Candace, we are live here about a quarter mile from the crash. We're on State Road 39, keeping an eye on I-70 traffic, westbound traffic, when that will reopen. It is not reopened right now, but state police have been saying for about a half hour that it could reopen at any moment. Now, what we are learning, what we have seen here along I-70, this is a 4-vehicle crash involving, yes, a school bus full of high schoolers. They were traveling back to Missouri from the FFA convention here. 23 kids in total were on that bus. 7 of them were injured but are expected to be okay. Now, the other 3 vehicles, a white van, a semi, the driver in that semi minorly hurt, and a budget rental truck. And in that budget rental truck, a father and his 19-year-old son headed back to Utah. Police say it was that 19-year-old who was killed. He was in the passenger seat of the truck, and it appears their vehicle slowed down for construction, but the semi behind it did not.
As traffic was slowing for NDOT doing their work, the commercial vehicle driver failed to slow, struck the budget rent-a van in the rear, forcing that van into the rear of the school bus. ultimately killing the passenger in the budget rental van.
The semi then veered and ran the white van off the interstate. Back live here, you can see they are rerouting traffic here at it's State Road 39 at I-70. If you are along State Road 39, you will not be able to get on westbound I-70 here. Again, traffic on I-westbound 70 still not back open, backed up for miles. And Kansas State Police say there is a clear message here. What happened? A key reminder of how important it is that you always keep an eye on the road. You are paying attention to the vehicles in front of you because they can slow down at any moment. This crash could have been prevented. Reporting live from Hendricks County, Ann Kelly, RTV6.
Breaking just in, 2 people now confirmed dead and another one person critically injured after a vehicle ran into an Indigo bus stop early this morning on the city's northwest side. It all happened at the intersection of 29th Street and Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard just before 3:30 this morning. IMPD officers say they found 3 people lying on the ground and the vehicle involved in the wreck. The driver told police another vehicle ran a red light, forcing him off of the road. His vehicle then crashed into an Indigo bus stop shelter that had 3 people sitting in it. The 2 people who were killed are being identified as 61-year-old Marvin Kinchlow and 59-year-old Eugene Guzman. Officers say emergency crews rushed both to a hospital where they later died. One other man is in critical condition. Police say alcohol did not appear to be a factor in the accident, but the driver volunteered to take a blood test, which is procedure for fatal accidents. And tonight, we're learning more about the victims. Reverend Charles Harrison tweeting that they helped at a feeding ministry. The community leaving flowers at the scene of the crash.
Also breaking earlier this morning, we told you police were searching for these 2 men. Well, we've learned one of them has been arrested. This is what we're learning this morning. The other was shot and killed by police. They were both wanted in connection to an early morning shooting. A woman was shot. This happened in Colorado Springs area. The woman who was shot has since died from her injuries.
Developing now, a large explosion, a home under construction destroyed. Tonight, we're finding out what went wrong and what caused this destruction. It all happened in a brand new subdivision in Noblesville called Turnberry at the Park. That's off of 166th Street and Summer Road. A house collapsed after what investigators are calling a natural gas explosion. The Noblesville Fire Department says nearby neighbors heard a large explosion that shook their homes. Firefighters then found this house that was under construction destroyed. Fire crews say a natural gas explosion caused all of the damage. No one was in the home and nobody was injured. Crews turned off all of the utilities and they say there is no longer a danger of another explosion. Investigators say the house is a total loss. It was worth about $300,000.
Denver 7 tracking breaking news at 9. Denver police investigating a shooting. This is on Ireland Court near East 47th Place.
Denver 7's Amanda Del Castillo is live on the scene gathering all the details for us right now. Amanda, what do we know?
Well, it happened in the Green Valley Ranch home you see behind me. We know that one man was taken to the hospital and they're conducting a shooting investigation. Now, police on scene tell us that it was all because of a burglary gone wrong. It's unclear right now whether the man who was injured is the homeowner or the suspect in this case. Details are limited as the shooting investigation continues, but police did tell us that a burglar was confronted this morning. We're working on gathering more information for you, including the condition of that man, who he is, and what kind of injuries he sustained. Reporting live in Green Valley Ranch, I'm Amanda Del Castillo.
Also breaking earlier this morning, we told you police were searching for these 2 men. Well, we've learned one of them has been arrested. This is what we're learning this morning. The other was shot and killed by police. They were both wanted in connection to an early morning shooting. A woman was shot. This happened in Colorado Springs area. The woman who was shot has since died from her injuries.
Good evening to you. Just into our newsroom tonight, new video of a man's deadly confrontation with Tulsa police.
A witness posted this cell phone video on YouTube. We've frozen the clip just before police opened fire, but we've left the audio up so you can hear what happened.
Here's a portion of the full video you can watch on KJRH.com. 2 Works For You reporter Brian Miller has been covering the shooting since it happened.
He joins us live near First and Utica with more of that video and what witnesses and police are saying tonight. Brian?
Well, just minutes ago, literally, they cleared up this scene and finally opened the stretch of Utica where this happened. Now, witnesses say that it was a homeless man who was Native American and that they actually captured part of that on the cell phone video we're about to show you. This video posted to YouTube shows the moments before and after an officer opens fire after first tasing the man.
No reason to walk around the night, but they just tased him and shot him 3 times.
Later, our camera captures crews performing chest compressions on the victim. Moments later, the ambulance pulls away.
They did tell him to drop the knife, but he wouldn't drop the knife. His knife's over in one location and he's dead in another location, so explain that.
Police say it began when the suspect pulled a knife on a couple selling a car in a nearby lot. At least 2 people called 911 and officers responded to find the man walking around with the knife. Police wouldn't say how big the knife was.
Maybe a 3-inch knife. It's a very small pocket knife. I mean, all over a pocket knife.
Police say you can't compare this deadly shooting with others because each situation is unique.
Every shooting is different. Every officer involved shooting, there's no 2 officer involved shootings that are alike.
Well, as this investigation continues, police say they're going to check the dash cam video of both of the officers who originally responded to this call to see if they captured that on video. Meanwhile, witnesses say that man seemed to be drunk, but of course police could not confirm that. That's also part of this active investigation. For now, reporting live in Tulsa, Brian Miller, 2 Works for You.
And going in depth, here in the U.S., a total of 509 citizens have been killed this year alone by police. Data from the Washington Post shows most of those shot by police are male and white. At last count, 282 were armed with a gun, 88 with a knife, 35 with a vehicle, and 35 were unarmed.